Well, thanks so much, Mr. Chairman, for your very strong statement on the importance of the hearing today and why we're holding the hearing, because as a nation, I agree with you, Mr. Chairman, we are highly dependent on imports of critical minerals and materials. Many of the countries that supply these resources are adversaries, and they clearly, as you said, don't share our values. A Biden administration official went so far as to call our mineral dependence a clear and present danger. And he met with the members of this committee just last week as we sat around to discuss the concerns that we share. That's one of the few statements from this administration that I agree with, because the projected mineral demand is increasing in an amount that is well known to all of us, and it doesn't seem to be understood by the administration. The world demand for copper is expected to increase by 300% by 2040. The Economist last week had an article about this. Where are you going to go for the copper? This administration has shut down a copper mine in northern Minnesota, so where are they going to go? Well, the Economist pointed out in their article, well, there is this place between the border of Iran and Pakistan that we can go to get the copper when we need the demand is up by 300%. Nickel demand is expected to increase by 1,900%. Graphite demand expected to increase by 2,500%. Lithium demand to increase by 4,200%. Much of this demand has been generated from President Biden's policies, compelling, mandating the use of electric vehicles, solar panels, and wind turbines. The United States depends on imports for the vast majority of the minerals used in these products. China is a top producer of lithium and rare earth elements. Democratic Republic of the Congo, a major producer of cobalt and copper. Indonesia produces nearly half of the world's nickel. These nations don't share our values. China ruthlessly exploits a religious and ethnic minority as a source of forced labor in its mining industry. The Congo has tens of thousands of children mining cobalt. Indonesia is clear-cutting vast areas of its tropical rainforest to access its nickel reserves. No moral or ethical sacrifice, including slavery and child labor, seems to be too great for Joe Biden's so-called green transition. America's dependence on foreign minerals is not only shameful and reckless, it is unnecessary. We have more of the resources that we need right here at home, including copper, including lithium, including nickel, graphite, cobalt. Yet this Biden administration's boneheaded policies make it clearly impossible to access them. Recently, Mr. Chairman, scientists reported that the United States may be home to the largest known lithium deposit in the world. In fact, our nation's lithium reserves are estimated to be more than 3 times larger than China's. Yet China's lithium production is 27 times larger than ours. You can see it on the chart. Look at these comparisons, where we get things from and where they exist. The 2 bar graphs show the lithium production and lithium reserves listed by country. We're number 2 in terms of availability. China is number 2 in terms of production. Even compared to countries with robust environmental standards, we are laggards. Australia has less than half of our reserves, but it produces 88 times more lithium than we do. This is ridiculous and unacceptable. The Biden administration seems gleefully intent on keeping us dependent on foreign minerals. It senselessly revoked leases for projects in Minnesota that would have produced nickel and cobalt for electric vehicle batteries. Carelessly revoked approval of a road in Alaska that was needed to develop copper, recklessly delayed a land exchange necessary for a copper mine in Arizona, and it foolishly proposed withdrawing 10 million acres for mineral development across 6 states in the West, including Wyoming. If it weren't enough, this administration recently issued recommendations that would make it even harder to mine on federal lands. There is an interagency working group, and it's headed by Mr. Boudreau, and he's one of our witnesses today, and the working group wants to fundamentally change the mining claim system. It wants to add new fees and proposes more authority for the administration to withdraw lands from mineral production. Since many of our nation's mineral resources are on federal lands, the group's recommendations will mean less, not more, mineral production here in the United States and more dependence on our enemies. It's a disgrace. Look, said it before, Biden's agenda is not a transition from fossil fuels to sunshine and wind. It is a transition from American energy to foreign minerals. It is a transition from American strength and independence to American weakness and dependence. We must change this reckless course that we are on. We have abundant minerals and abundant energy resources here at home. We only need an administration with the courage and the common sense to use them. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.